Okay, we're going to do a quick reminder video now how to do some of the basic things. What we've done so far is construct our video, and you'll notice from here that we've got title, transition, video, video, transition in between, title, you know roughly how it's going to go. What I would suggest is that you put the video on separate layers to the titles. So let's just move them up quickly here, and let's leave that one up there actually. What we're going to do is drag this down here and drag the video down there. The reason for that is that when you're adding effects, sometimes what happens is the effect you're putting on the title slide goes on to the actual video as well. So it's always better to have it set on separate layers. So what we're going to do is add a sound file. Now I don't know what I've got on here, so you have to bear with me while I just quickly check my desktop. And I'm sure you're all big fans of the XX, so let's just choose their let's choose the Angels, because I think that's the newest song, I think. So I'm going to go to where it says Project Media, and in Project Media you'll see an MP3. What I'm going to do is just drag the MP3 down, and you'll notice that it goes pretty much throughout. We're going to use one of the techniques we used for video editing earlier on actually. We're going to sound edit. We're going to click on it and just drag it back, because we don't need it going on past the end of the video. So I'm going to have it going to the edge here, and I may fade it down at the end like we did on the video. It's not a bad way to edit sound, but it's not the best or most accurate way. And although it brings in the sound nice and quickly, it doesn't necessarily. I wouldn't say that it's the best way to edit sound. So anyway, when we play this, it's I don't think it necessarily matches the track. I'm just trying to bring in a video. Alright, so you notice that I've managed to get an MP3 in. I wouldn't necessarily say it matches the actual video. I was just doing it for an example of how to remind you to put a sound in. Now, to get to the higher levels, you need to put two sounds in. So what I would suggest you do is make sure that you've got two MP3s. A good way of doing it is to narrate or to speak. You may want to speak into your video, or another way of doing it is just to have two MP3s. So again, I'm going to go to File, Import Media, and I'm going to choose a different track. I don't know about this, I haven't heard this track, so forgive me if it's got any rude words in, because I hope it hasn't. I'm then going to just move this work pane up just a slight little bit, and I'm going to drag this down. Now, you'll notice if that one plays, then you'll get that one over the top of it, so we don't want that. So what we're going to do is get it one fading out, one fading in. Again, we use the tried and tested techniques that we used for the going back for the video editing for trimming, where we dragged it, and we just have a little bit of that one. And then, what we could do is just right click, copy, and actually just paste that bit in again. So it starts there, it goes there. If you wanted to, you could actually right click and copy that, and you could paste it in again. And if you wanted to, you could right click and you could reverse it. And what you'll notice is that Sony Vegas takes a little while to build up the peaks on it. Okay, so we fade it in from the start, fade it in from here. Remember, you can click on these any order you want to, it doesn't really matter. You can click on here and fade this bit in if you want. So what we've managed to get is two different sound sources, turning your video in terms of sound into distinction or A category GCSE. From the start, it looks like this. This is perfect. I'm not saying this is how it should be. And again, to use that technique is quite effective when you've got a bit of atmospheric music. So for example, that's it going backwards. Let's just copy that bit. So you left click it once, right click it, position your mouse, right click, and then paste. And it should paste there. Hooray, it's pasted there. So what we can do this time, that's going forward, that's going back, that's going forward. So let's go there and then just see the effect on the, because it's quite atmospheric. And again, it doesn't necessarily work with the spot video. Hopefully, if we play it from there. In any case, it'll get you to the point where you've got two sounds in. Now, one thing you're probably saying to yourself is when Ronaldo is speaking here, there is no sound. And for you to get higher grades, especially for your video, you need to have, when the person's speaking, the words are there as well. So if you've got a situation where you've got someone speaking and there's no words, then simply just take them out, because the hassle involved of trying to reconstruct the actual video with them talking is too much to bear. However, the structure is there. You've been taken through virtually every section of it. All you need to do now is to actually get on and do it. There's one more thing you need to do. Let me just put these video event attributes back, and then that way we know where we are. So there's only one more thing we need to do once we have done this, and that is render our final video. And when you move these around, sometimes what you have to do is link them up like this so they actually go in the right place. And then move it closer. What I would suggest is you have one of these titles in between each section. So title, video, title, video. It explains why they're there, because otherwise it's just a random bunch of video. So, title, your name, unit 23. Title of your video you're doing. Maybe first clip of video with transition following it. Title afterwards, saying what the next section is going to be, video or image. Title, saying what the next section is going to be, video, image. And it's very easy to build up 30 seconds, because that's all you need for this. So one more thing we need to do after we've done this, and that is rendering, or sometimes what is referred to as exporting our video. And so from the start, our video will look like this. And again, this isn't how I expect yours to look, but it gives you an indication of what it could look like in terms of structure. And then you just need to make sure you've moved up the sections so it matches in. Okay, so we're getting to the stage now, and you've pretty much been run through all the skills on this. All you need to make sure is you've followed some of the guides to help yourself construct this. We've got one more thing to show you in a minute, and that's rendering your